on the beat.
Stagnation, welcome back to the channel.
Champions.
In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the works of a KGB spy. Okay. We would like to introduce you to Mr. Yuri Bezmenov. Okay. It says that Mr. Yuri Bezmenov here is a journalist, you know. They just casually put there in the journalist before adding on the fact that this man is a whole KGB informant. Okay. KGB informant and also a propaganda artist who defected to Canada in 1970. So one thing we know is that this guy has no loyalty to anyone. True KGB informants, man. You can see how the guy is changing direction. He's all about misinforming, misguiding. This is what he has done massively. So it would seem that we should probably proceed with the following video that he's going to be educating us here with caution. Nonetheless, it makes sense. It makes sense for multiple reasons because I think we're living in a time right now where we're actually undergoing, run button there, we're actually going through a lot of these things that Yuri is going to be speaking about in this video. And specifically, I want to just highlight what these things are. We have a problem.
A big one.
All right. This problem is affecting a lot of us. Second, we are aware of this problem, but we are not taking action. So we have to ask ourselves, why is that? Why are we seeing a problem? We're aware of it, but we're not taking action. This is where the outside forces, outside influences come into play, right? Some people will say conspiracy theory when you put yourself in this configuration of trying to figure out what is going on. However, they say education is paramount, right?
Yep.
And so when you educate yourself, you can start to connect the dots. And this is massively part of the reason why we do this show every day, right? To bring together this education and to do our part in educating the masses on what money is and why Bitcoin is important. A lot of this is also psychological. As we know, there's been continuous attacks on Bitcoin, right? And they've all failed. So they've resorted to this point where they've had to settle on social engineering. Social engineering.
Bitcoin 2.0.
World Economic Forum, Bitcoin 2.0. They're now having to focus to rely on social engineering. And the crazy thing about social engineering is that it requires your participation.
Yep. Your mind.
Yes. So are you going to allow yourself to get scammed or not? And the levels of scams are, it ranges from the one where you're quickly getting rock pulled to the one where it's a slow burn.
Ethereum.
Ethereum.
It's locked up, don't worry.
Right? Exactly. It's locked up. It's instant. It's there. Or there is a slow burn, or as we call it, the boiling frog, where you're gradually roasted to the point where you don't even know when you're totally cooked.
CBDCs.
All right. I think this is a sufficient preface to what we're about to see here. Double up. Would you agree?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's play this on then. And we'll get some reactions to this.
Despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions.
Despite the abundance of information.
Yes.
The internet has given you lots of information.
Yep.
But for some reason, y'all
Yes.
cannot connect the dots.
This is true. We, as a society, we're more exposed to more information than any other time in history. Yet, here we are.
In the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country. It's a great brainwashing process which goes very slow, and it's divided in 4 basic stages. The first one being demoralization. It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. Why that many years? Because this is the minimum number of years which requires to educate one generation of students in the country of your enemy, exposed to the ideology of the enemy. In other words, Marxism, Leninism,
I'd like to pause there real quick. It takes about 15 to 20 years to impact or influence a whole generation of a country. Many videos ago, right, we had said something about, if you're born into this world and the only thing you see, and well, what you see is only the things that are really around you, the education of your parents, the education of the people around you, the education of the people that lead society as it is. I say the education of the people that lead society as it is because this is where the propaganda, right, like Yuri is talking about here, comes into play. These are the people who are trying to guide and maintain a certain status quo in society because it is beneficial to them.
The brain has been engineered.
Exactly. In the case of what we're talking about here, we're specifically looking at the banks, the Federal Reserve, central planners, right, and the current economic environment as it sits. Someone who is born in this generation, right, or in fact, someone who is born in America, where you've not seen any other economic alternative or landscape, to you, this environment is God.
It's working.
Yes. There is nothing else. This is normal. So it is it's understandable when people are sitting there and the value of the dollar is crashing to the floor and they're not doing anything about it.
I think it's perfectly fine.
Even when there is a clear alternative sitting right in your face.
In your face.
What are your thoughts, Double O?
Man, you're killing it this morning, man. I'm feeling it.
Listen, man, I woke up with the Holy Spirit on my forehead.
Yuri just said it. Imagine, right? 60s and 70s. The big schools got infiltrated.
Yeah.
Harvard, Stanford, name it. Right? And then they educated those leaders back then.
Yeah.
To make it normal for them to print money out of thin air.
Right.
Get the banks in control. Just think full-on capitalism. Nothing else. Which are the same people that we have in all angles of governance and big corporations.
They have infiltrated the cabinets.
So when you see Bloomberg, Fox News, CNN, CNBC talking about, the Federal Reserve, the Central Bank of Philadelphia, they've normalized it so much that even when they talk about interest rate hikes and decrease, it's like, it's normal talk.
Yeah.
Because that's what they were born into. That's all they know. They literally talk this gibberish as if that is mankind.
Yeah, like this is law. They actually make it sound like it's actually like a reasonable mathematical economics which you can calculate. It's not.
It's full-on manipulation.
It's full-on manipulation.
There's no such thing as called free markets.
Yeah.
A free market is those that have access to the information before you do. You see Congress getting involved in investing during COVID before even you did.
Yeah.
They made millions of dollars out of that. Imagine what's going on in the real estate market.
Yeah.
If you know about the city planning, you get to go buy the properties before everybody else does.
Yeah.
The system, as we know it, if you're paying attention to all the information out there and connecting the dots, it's broken. But it's designed now for a lot of people to think that it's normal.
Yeah. Normalization. It's sort of like with the COVID vaccines, that had to be normalized. It is not normal to be injecting so many foreign substances into your body. It is not. When you talk about normalization, there is this idea that you have to take away people's ability to defend themselves. That is not normal. Okay? It is not normal that as a society, we go around and you either have to be on one side of the aisle or the other. It does not make
Democrat or
sense.
Republican.
Yeah.
The Democrats will not even let you get involved in the primaries if you're not Democrat.
This is not competitive sport. This is about coexisting. Okay? There should never be a point in time when the political arena is so polarized where you have essentially factions, man, violently against each other. It makes no sense.
But
There is no
that's
need for us
right.
to be battling these things, okay?
Yep.
This idea that gay people are just under this enormous pressure where everything has to come to a complete halt is not normal. Okay? Slavery happened in this country. Nothing has come to a complete halt for the sake of black people.
Nope.
Okay? So this is extremism and fanatical behavior, if you will, which is part of this polarization, which Yuri is talking about here, right? Getting people to this point where they're not capable of making decisions because they're just so overwhelmed. It is part of this engineering. So the whole point here then is, as a society, okay, we have to be able to step back and question everything that seems like it's normal to us today. We have to reconsider what is money. We have to reconsider alternatives to the system that we're in right now. And this is why it's important for, we were at the electric mobility show yesterday in DC. And we were talking to this one guy over at the Tesla booth. We're hanging out at the Tesla booth, right? And this guy was saying, I know you're a Bitcoin guy. Well, you never run into anyone and tell them, I know you're the dollar guy. Right? You never meet somewhere and go, I know you're the dollar guy. No, because money is for all of us.
Yes.
I'm not the Bitcoin guy. I don't want this Bitcoin maxi title or anything like that. I was telling this guy, I responded to the guy, I was telling him, listen, my dollar is going down in value. This is not just happening in my bank account. It's happening in your bank account.
As a matter of fact, it's hard for you to access your money in your bank account.
Exactly. And so I was telling him, so what we are here is looking for an alternative to protect our value. You don't have to be a Bitcoin guy. There's no such thing as a Bitcoin guy. Oh. Do you want to preserve your value or not? Period. And if you do, then it's time to start asking questions other than what the dollar is proposing to you. Just look into other alternatives. Consider what Bitcoin is. Educate yourself on it. Nobody is the Bitcoin guy.
Kind of like nobody is the Tesla guy. You're considered an alternative.
No, there is a Tesla guy. Elon is the Tesla guy. Elon is the Tesla guy. But no, actually, nobody is the Tesla guy, right? You should be able to buy, a Toyota if you want. You should be able to buy a Lexus if you want, so on and so forth, right?
Tesla is just better. There's only one Tesla.
Yeah, exactly, right? If you choose to become a Tesla guy, right, then that's what you choose to become, right? But you understand that these are the benefits and downsides that come with it.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's where society is having some issues. Understanding that there's downsides to some things. Okay. There's going to be wins and losses. You cannot have it all.
Remember we were talking to our neighbor the other day, probably almost a year now.
Yeah.
And he had Bitcoin and he had packed it in an exchange. And unfortunately, it's one of those exchanges that went bye-bye.
Yeah.
And its concept was, it's just like money. It's like it's investing. It's just going to come back and take a look at it 10 years from now. And we're trying to convince him that Bitcoin is not investment.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, our neighbor had come to this conclusion that the environment, the system, the government is so strong that they can shut anything down. They can kill it because of there's no way out. Basically, if he has accepted the system as what it is.
That's social engineering we're talking about.
Yep. And that there was nothing we could do about it.
Yeah.
So just leave it on the exchange and cross your fingers and hope something works out.
My Bitcoin is still with me. If yours is on an exchange, it's not with you. That's the difference.
It's, like I said, just like most people put their money in the bank because they've been taught over time to trust the banks.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you realize the banks are literally stealing from you on a regular. And not only are they stealing from you, the value of your money in the bank is going down if it's in CDs, if it's just in regular savings, Whereas they are busy inflating the market stealing away from you invisibly through another form of taxation, because that's what inflation does to you. Not only are they taxing you like crazy, your money is also going down in value, which is another form of taxation, and you just think it's normal. So you all keep looking for other alternatives in investing, which again, you don't control. That market space is fully manipulated. And that's one thing that is not manipulated, that is decentralized for everybody, is Bitcoin. It's an alternative solution to you storing your energy, your value, your money, whatever you want to call it. And that's what we're trying to tell you guys, that you have to think outside the box. We will not blame you for thinking the way you think, because that is what you know. Yeah. That is what you're surrounded with. But we are now at the point that we need to start thinking outside of the box if we are to survive.
You have no choice. Well, ladies and gentlemen, okay, think outside the box. Okay, that's where we are. We're going to leave this one there. Okay, please subscribe to the channel. Okay, STAKK. We are also on Twitter, STAKK, and of course we are also on Spotify as STAKK. We're going to leave this one with one question. Why are you not taking action to protect your value? Let us know in the comments down below. Until next time, brazen out.